old stools, put them out by the old apartment complex.
Yeah, I think so.
No.
I think we return them from where
they came.
They came.
Yeah.
That'll be really, really nice.
What are they like? How does it work? How do they? You stack all 8 of them all in one thing?
Those ones that you see at all the like tap rooms and bars and stuff. Yeah, they just stack
really?
up.
They're pretty nice then. All metal.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, I hope.
I mean,
that's what it said on the ad.
Well, I mean, made out of genuine metal. Okay. So which ones have to go then? All the crud, all the junk.
Yeah,
all those ones with tape probably should go.
Yeah, unless we're going to recover them, which we haven't done yet. So
yeah, I think that's a bigger pain than the. Oh yeah, there's one right there.
I've wrecked more pairs of pants on these
from tape crud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it doesn't slow me down from wearing the pants.
No, me neither. There was a time when I was walking by I didn't know what it was, but I had grease on my pants in the same spot all the time. And I started wandering around the shop looking for what the culprit was. Turns out it was the thickness sander. I would cut through the thickness and my pants would brush against the gears.
Yeah. Okay.
And I didn't know. And it was like I'm like, son of a, and yeah.
The thickness sander.
Yeah. You know, where it's got that kind of like the rack and peanut gear. It's not rack and pinion, but
there.
Yeah, it's that knuckle.
And there's brushing against that.
I don't know. I must have just gotten just close enough because it was always on my.
Only has to happen once per pair of pants.
Well, yeah, and it would wash off.
Yeah,
mostly, but yeah. Or is it time? Oh, hey, it's time. Hey, everybody, this is Matt, and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for joining us for a Thursday Primetime Guitar Live. We have a bunch of good stuff to talk about, and I forgot to tell you I wanted a visual aid.
What visual aid do you want?
Well, I want to give everybody. No,
once we get to it.
Yeah, once we get to it, or you can tell me where to get it, and I'll let you vamp.
Oh, I'll tell you where to go.
Okay. So to my left, your right is Chris. Chris, how are you today?
I'm good. I feel like I got a lot accomplished today.
This week, really?
Well, yeah. And some stuff that we've been wanting to get done. Some stuff that was very timely today.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it.
So one of the things we're going to talk about is we're going to give you guys who have pre-ordered the Challenger JJJ Deluxes, we have an update finally. I alluded to an update a couple of weeks ago. And why don't we just jump right into that?
Sure, we can talk about that.
Before I do, though, hey to everyone who's here, I'm just going to read some names. Van Schenk Guitars, Dan Andretis, Driddle, NSJ Guitars, Tom S, Brian Duncan. Looking for new one. Here's Dylan Talks Tone, and everyone else whose name I haven't mentioned. Black Dog Sheep. If you're here and I didn't read your name, it's because I can't see you here. If you put it up again, maybe I'll say Terry, Ryan. Hey, Ryan. Ryan says he's not here, but Ryan, I think yes. I haven't seen him for why. Where's he? Steve Resner, Justin Brown, Ken Tipton, who has a question. No rush, but asking, can I get an update on my guitar? Asking for a friend. So, Chris, I hate to put you on the spot here. Paul McNary, Lefty O. His is the Dancing Bear Flying V. And I am waiting on inlay for the Dancing Bear Flying
I've worked on the inlay. We haven't officially done it, but I have done some test stuff. That's a really tricky design, way harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But I have worked on it. And the body's
basically done.
Marched along.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just need to do it. You just need to remind me to do it, and I'll do it.
Okay.
Do it.
All right.
One thing I can say, I am getting better at the CNC machine and programming. So as long as it's been, I think you will be rewarded with a superior product.
I can absolutely unequivocally say that is 100% true.
Yeah.
We are now.
You might actually end up with something that looks like Dancing Bears.
Yeah. For anyone else who's waiting on parts, waiting on guitars, we are waiting on parts still, especially if you have a bass, and especially if you have a bass and you want Hipshot hardware. I keep getting updates from Hipshot that stuff is on the way. So yeah, in fact, I actually got a thing today that is a email from Zach. Normally I talk to Oscar at Hipshot, but this one came from Zach. that part of my order is on the way. I don't know what's in the box, but we have thousands and thousands of outstanding order stuff, thousands and thousands of dollars in outstanding orders from Hipshot. Not because Hipshot can't get anything. It's because as stuff trickles in, they kind of spread it around, but we're still suffering from some shortages of some specific things. Some bridges are hard to get. I was shocked. Doug ordered a baby grand bridge, and I was shocked that they had it in nickel. He ordered a set of tuners and a baby grand bridge in nickel. And I'm like, okay, we'll put it in there and see what happens. They had it. I got the bridge. I invoiced Doug, and then I looked, there's no studs. So I called Oscar. I'm like, hey, dude, I didn't get any studs with this. So he's going to
extra, or is it supposed to come with those?
No, it's supposed to come with them.
Okay. That's kind of what I thought.
But he's like, oh crap, I wonder how many other things. I'll round up a set and send them to you. So Doug, if you're watching, Doug Seidlitz, if you're watching, waiting on studs before I send the stuff, that I would have to send it twice. So anyway,
it's funny what they have and what they're out of. And it's funny. We've ordered enough from them that it's usually, if they don't have it, please ship all the stuff you do have.
Yeah.
We'll wait for the other stuff, ship it when you get it. They don't always do that. So you place an order and you sit there, and the next thing you know, a week's gone by, a week and a half, and you're like, I wonder what happened to that Hipshot order.
Well, remember that was the base stuff that I ordered. Well, you were here when I ordered it.
And I was here when it didn't show up.
And you're like, what's the deal? How come? And I'm like, I don't know. So
So anyway.
Ken says he knows he tried programming the inlays himself.
Yeah.
So we will get on that ASAP. Sean Emmenheiser asks, my guitar teacher believes drop C tuning will warp his neck. I disagree. Your thoughts and a good sales pitch to change his mind. Drop C. Well, so essentially, I don't see how that would do any warping or anything at all. But I don't know what kind of guitar he has.
Yeah, I've heard of people that think if the guitar isn't under some sort of tension, that you could damage the neck. That might be true. I can't imagine that tuning down a little bit is going to do very much damage at all.
We have built some guitars for people who play in drop C. And one guy in particular, and he's like, but I don't use heavier strings. And so we put it on there, and these were flopping all over. It was slinky as all get out.
Yeah.
And he's like, boy, it's kind of buzzy. Well, yeah, there's no tension on those strings, but by God and by glory, it's in drop C. You know,
we did one the other day that we used a little bit heavier strings on. You know who you are.
You know who you are.
It was like a 1052 set.
Yeah.
Actually, it felt pretty
tuned
good.
down to D.
I tuned all the way down to C.
C, okay. You know, anybody can tune down.
I tuned to C sharp, but
anybody can tune down.
Yeah.
And any singer can sing when everything's lower.
Yeah.
I like to tune up a full step.
I like to tune up like a quarter step.
Yeah.
Just throw everything on.
Throw everything on like F. Yeah, so
tune up that would be a full step.
As I said, tune up a full step. Yeah,
tune up a quarter step. E plus some,
and then make the singer really work for it.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I just can't quite find my groove.
Yeah, everybody's tuning down. Yeah, be different. Tune up.
Yeah,
I don't know how you would convince someone of something absurd that they're absurd. A good sales pitch to where you don't say, hey, you're a dummy, would be, well, if you adjust the truss rod to compensate for the tension or lack thereof, then you'll be fine. The truss rod is adjustable for a reason. By the way, a truss rod was not originally designed for tuning down to C.
Right.
In the 50s, no one said, let's tune down to C.
Right.
But
strings were crazy heavy back then.
Yeah. So an adjustable truss rod is adjustable for a reason. You could make the argument, I don't know how accurate it would be, that is one of the things that the adjustable truss rod is designed to facilitate on your guitar. give it a try and see.
I can't imagine it's going to damage the guitar. That just seems like a
No, it's absolutely
You know what it
not.
sounds like a thing to me is get another guitar. That's
There
the
you
perfect
go.
reason to have another guitar.
Hey, speaking of getting more guitars, I've been working on stuff for Rotbox. I need to know, sir, do you still want the Floyd Rose backplate? Because we've got covers made for you, and I'm like, well, maybe you don't even want these, but that's what's next. So,
Yeah, I did that this week too, huh?
Yep. We've been moving right along. Doug Santaniello says very wisely, never blame the equipment, only the one using it. So yeah, a good carpenter never blames his tools.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually want to do a video about kind of where I do blame some tools. And you know what I'm talking about? It's a video where remember the thing we discovered
so
on
is that
Monday?
Still a thing? Because Brandon said it was still a thing.
I had him wind the thing down because I
Yeah.
didn't want it to be a thing.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not
I don't
still
think
a
it's
thing. It's
He
not a
thinks
thing.
It's a thing.
I'm going to let him believe that
Okay.
because I don't want him to, because I want him to do stuff the way I want him to do it.
Because he came over to me today and he was saying stuff and I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I think we fixed that.
Just let it go and
okay.
it'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't tell him what to, or how to do stuff.
Well, yeah. Anyway,
when it comes to that stuff.
So guys, if you have ordered one of the Jam Jimmy signature Challenger Deluxes, we have a considerable amount of forward movement this week.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we were waiting on showed up. When did it show up, Chris? Today. And that was a box of pickups from Pete Biltoff at Vintage
Vibe.
The guy who makes the Charlie Christian pickups.
Mm-hmm. And he lives in Florida.
He lives right in Sarasota and actually evacuated.
And he was before that, so we had to go back and forth a little bit on dimensions because that original one we customized the pickup
on Jim's original guitar.
We had to customize the pickup because those 3 bolts would have gone into the bridge pickup.
Yeah.
So I had to modify that, and then on these new ones we had to remember how we modified it, what the dimensions were. I had some drawings and stuff like that. And then we had to go back and forth with Pete a little bit to make sure that, because he was like, well, I can modify him. You don't have to modify him. So
when we got $3,000 worth of pickups, we wanted them all to be the same.
Yeah. And then he was out of town. He went on vacation for a couple of weeks.
Came
back to forced evacuation. And we were like, oh, shit, I hope we get pickups someday. I mean, I hope he's okay too.
So the good news is Pete and his family and his shop are okay.
And he made us pickups.
And
they're awesome.
They look super cool. Can we show some of those? That was one of the visual aids I wanted to show everybody. Did they just come in a big box and they're all
big box, all pre-wrapped or all
that's them over there in the
singularly wrapped.
Oh, there's a note too.
There's an invoice and then there's a, hey, wire it like this, dummy.
Oh, okay. So what do you got there, Chris?
So that's the pickup. Look how cute it is.
That is,
and this is the portion that we had to modify originally. This screw was further out this way, which would have gotten in the way of the bridge because this thing it's a huge cavity that it goes into. This whole thing has to have a cavity that's bigger than this whole thing to go in, which there's a little bit of a design stuff we had to do to make this work. Right. Yeah. So they're really cool.
So this is one of the few pickups that we buy from someone other than Dylan McCurchie from Dylan Pickups.
And I texted Dylan back and forth a bunch today because I was trying to figure out how we're going to wire these.
Okay, to work with his P90s.
So because last time he was here, he taught me just enough about pickups that now I'm officially dangerous.
Okay, cool. Let's take a couple of super chats. One from Rick Beast for some remedial beer drinking. Cheers. God bless you, Rick.
Remedial.
Yep. And one from Brian Dunkins who says, I just wanted to hear you say my name. You know what? Who said that? Brian Duncan. I hear Brian
buddy. Duncan's going to go see Clutch tonight.
Ooh, really? I like that band. That's cool.
Street. So anyway, I'm going to put that right there.
So we have another super chat from Al Aldefson. Just another old guy says, I'm not crazy about VOS finish on my 59 Epi Les Paul. What are your thoughts about applying gloss over the finish? StewMac gloss is okay. Other brands? VOS, vintage old stock, I guess. I am not sure what that looks like. if you are not crazy about it, what, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, as always. If you have a finish that you're not happy with and it's not glossy, and you want to add a gloss finish to the top of that, what you need to do is figure out what it is that you have, make sure it's compatible with what you're going to put on top of it, spray it. You probably need to scuff back to get a mechanical adhesion, guarantee a mechanical adhesion and a mechanical bond, spray, let cure, wet sand, buff, repeat as necessary.
Sell the guitar once you're irritated because you probably didn't do it, or it probably doesn't look as good as you were hoping.
That would be another thing to do. Just buy the guitar you want. Now that's not the fun thing to do.
Making things glossy is very, very difficult. And if you haven't done it before, a really expensive guitar is probably not the place to start. Even a somewhat expensive guitar is probably not the place to start.
Chris is daring you to do it.
I am. And then send me pictures. But if you want to do it, yeah, everything that Matt said is correct. If it's lacquer, hopefully it's lacquer. Probably is lacquer.
Do you think it's
Gibson?
It's about Epiphone.
Epiphone?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's going to be some sort of
urethane
or polyester. Yeah. You can still spray lacquer over the top of that.
Lacquer pretty much sticks to all kinds of stuff,
you can
right?
put lacquer on basically anything,
okay,
including dog turds.
You can't polish a turd, but you can roll it in glitter.
You can put a nice clear coat on it. Yes, that's true. Yeah. You might also try buffing that finish in an inconspicuous spot. It may polish up some.
It may polish up a little bit.
Yeah.
But if what you're going for is that Paul Reed Smith style of top coat, I think you'll need to spray new finish.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
So Brandon and I have been working feverishly on all the woodwork for the Challenger Deluxes. I really do believe, Chris, that, and I have to hand it to Loring Court. He didn't turn me on to this pick because I knew this was a pickup. But Jim talked to me about these pickups before, and he really liked John Lennon's in that Les Paul Jr. or whatever. And we were like, well, whatever. And then Loring came in and he had one that he built a Telly or something with us. And man, it looked cool. And it was neat, and it was real gizmo-y, and it was like, and look at this thing, like just this thing is like just crazy, nutty.
There's all sorts of parts. Dylan, when Dylan was here, he was looking at the prototype.
Yeah.
That Pete sent us and started counting parts on it.
Yep.
And there's like 30 some parts on this thing, I think, maybe more.
Yeah.
He might chime in and remember, because he just kept counting them. Yeah. For a minute, I just thought he was impressing me with how high he could count.
And maybe, yeah. And he didn't even have to be naked to count to 21. But
let's get past that.
But yeah, like I like, and people have asked me why we leave these screws exposed, and they tell me about, like, the real Charlie Christian had. Okay, fine. I just like the way this looks. If to me, this would be the equivalent of having an oil filter exposed on a motorcycle so that you could see it and get to it and just see the whole mechanicalness of it all. This has that kind of Indian Larry kind of aesthetic, which I really like. And so having these screws here, this is
throwback.
Yeah, and it looks cool.
Yeah.
And these pickups sound like $100 million.
That's the cool thing about this. I don't think the original Charlie Christian pickups sounded particularly great. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was one of the first, non-horseshoe pickups. Probably left a little to be desired.
Let's take a quick super chat from our good buddy Bobby Dale, who's got one of these coming, by the way.
Does he?
Yes, he does.
Oh.
He says, I hope you had a week that was better than mine. I went to my 50th class reunion last week, and it turned out to be a super spreader. Now me and Les are stuck home with COVID. Oh
man.
That sucks, Roberto. Bummer, man. Well, I hope that you are feeling okay, even if you're
say something else about his 50th class reunion.
Well, yeah. I I don't know, but Bobby Dill, we love Bobby Dill, and
We do.
hope that you feel
Yeah.
better soon, sir.
Thankfully, he's extra tough. So
Bobby Dill is one badass hombre.
yeah. So hopefully the COVID hasn't struck you too
Yeah.
bad. Obviously, it hasn't. He's here.
Chris
Trying to
Bullis
manage
says,
it.
not to rub it in, Bobby, it's my birthday and I got a raise. Hey, that's cool. Slacker Deluxe is in the house. And Doug, I was just talking about your Hipshot order. I don't know if you were here when I was mentioning it, but they shipped unbelievably. They had the nickel baby grand bridge, but they shipped it without the studs. So I called them immediately, and they are shipping the studs, and then I will get that right out to you, sir. So okay. So anyway, we're working feverishly on the JJJ Challenger Deluxe, which I think is going to be a super cool. Everybody who ordered the JJJ Challenger Deluxe got in at the ground floor pricing, and prices are not going to be that low on that guitar again because there's a ton of work on them. So if you got one in the deal, happy meal for you, which we're going to get to. Happy meal for you, because if you got one now, it's going to be $300 or $400 more. Speaking of which, are you familiar with this new? There apparently is an adult Happy Meal.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead and say your joke. You want to know what the toy is?
I don't know. Is it an adult toy?
I don't think so.
No.
Isn't that
so?
weird?
What part of the meal is an adult?
I don't know. I don't know what part of it makes it adult. But yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, adult Happy Meal. So I've been saying
children's box it comes in doesn't make it
certainly doesn't make it adult. I've been saying that if something goes your way, Happy Meal for you for years now.
Yeah.
And I stole it from Clint Smith at Thunder Ranch. And I don't know where he got, maybe he's just that he is definitely very witty.
Mm-hmm.
But I took it from him, and I've been saying it, and you guys have often said things like Happy Meal and Sad Meal and stuff.
Sad Meal. Yeah.
But I don't know from adult Happy Meal what.
So it comes. It's Big Mac or 10-piece chicken, fries, drink, squirrely toy,
whatever, and
some sort of box.
So
you don't even get a dessert, right? Like the kids.
Oh, I don't know.
The real Happy Meal always had like cookies in it, right?
I'm just sure I don't know. But I would imagine that if it is a Happy Meal, it should have some sort of happiness.
Yeah, and you can substitute a sundae for it, or something.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, and so my question to you guys watching: can I still say Happy Meal, or am I like kind of relegated to that weird guy who buys an adult Happy Meal thing? If I said, I don't know, I'd be interested to know what you guys think. But
as an adult, can't you? I mean, you can't probably order a children's Happy Meal.
I'm sure you can
in-store dining, but you can always order it through drive-through or takeout.
Lefty says that Clint Smith probably made it up. He's a sharp dude, funny as heck to watch his stuff. I actually was lucky enough to go to Thunder Ranch in 2005, and that was a lot of fun in Oregon. I never got down to Texas when Thunder Ranch was there, but I did go to Thunder Ranch. Actually, Clint Smith's wife Heidi and I have the same birthday.
There you go.
And I actually went on my birthday in November, and Heidi hooked me up with a bunch of cool TR swag.
Oh yeah,
for my birthday. That was nice.
No Happy Meal.
It was kind of a Happy Meal for me. Yeah, it was kind of a Thunder Ranch Happy Meal for me. Yeah. Anyway, so if you so let's get back to the Challenger Deluxe update. We will have something good to show you guys very, very soon on the Challenger Deluxes. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe. We do have a reveal for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah, I got that done too.
I know, dude. Yeah. But I can't tell you how awesome these guitars with these Charlie Christian style pickups are going to be, and how cool you guys are going to feel if you were one of the few who pre-ordered one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, if you missed out on the deluxe pre-order, don't worry. We have another pre-order going on right now for only $100 down. You can get in on the Challenger X, and it's it's like $1,000 less than the pre-order was for the Challenger Deluxe. But the Challenger X comes with our durable thin finish. It's the thinnest finish you can get. And in fact, there's a video coming on just how thin our finishes are because we had to cut 3 guitars up this week. And they were all like
ready to be assembled.
They all were ready to be assembled. Yeah. Video on that one coming soon. But it's the thinnest possible finish you can do that's not oil. So if you're like our friend who has the Epiphone that he doesn't like he wants a super shiny, glossy finish, this ain't for you. This finish is the thinnest possible. It's going to wear the fastest. You're going to be able to feel stuff through the finish. You're going to be able to feel the grain. You're going to be able to see the grain. It's one of my favorites because I like that woody kind of feel, but it comes in colors, which I like. I like colors. So yeah, what do you think? What's your favorite finish that we do, Chris?
Right now I like those. I like all the finishes that we do.
I guess when I did that Challenger video, I told everyone that the 73 finish is my favorite, and it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the durable thin finish is for those guys who like really want, like I said, the thinnest possible thing, and it wears fast. I mean, like from when you're assembling it to putting it in the case, it wears fast. Which kind of brings me around to what I want to talk about: customers we don't want. Now, if you order one of our durable thin finishes and then say it's too thin, well, duh, right? I mean, like that should go without saying. If what you want is the thinnest possible finish, but you don't want it to wear, well, then I don't know what that is. I guess that would be an oil finish that you can reapply. But anyway, let's take some questions.
It doesn't wear?
Well,
you have to reapply?
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like it's worn, I guess. I don't know.
It doesn't look like it's
so
worn.
Let's take some questions, then we'll get back and we'll beat up on customers we don't want.
Okay.
From Ken, I can't read, but he's basically asking, is it sonically superior you need to sail? Isn't the thinnest it is sonically superior you need to sail it? Ken, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The thinner the finish,
100%.
I have talked to people who know people, who are related to people, who have told me essentially this. No, I when I've talked to, I talked to Bobby about it. He worked at Grosh Finish, and he worked at Jackson, and he worked at BC Rich. Mike Learn knows more about finishing, has forgotten more about finishing than I'll ever know, probably. They will tell you, guys who know will tell you, I'm a guy who knows, Chris is a guy who knows. It doesn't matter what the finish is. It's just how thick or thin the finish is, has everything to do with how the guitar, the solid body guitar, this is key, the solid body guitar resonates against your body when you're playing it. Can we agree on that?
That's the playing experience is what I like to call that.
The playing experience.
Yes.
Thank you. So whether or not it imparts some sort of sonic magic because the finish is thin, you'll have to decide that. But if you like to feel the vibration of the solid guitar against your body when you're playing it, the thinner the finish, the better. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's made out of lacquer. It doesn't matter. And I don't care what you say. It doesn't matter. By the way, that's the kind of customer I don't want. The guy who's like, well, I got to have, sorry, we don't spray lacquer. Well, you have to blah, 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 blah. Fine. If you want lacquer, there's lots of guys who use lacquer, but thanks to the fire marshal, we cannot use lacquer. So I'm not going to go against the Westminster Fire Department. But what I will do is I will make the finish as thin as humanly possible. Would you agree, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's all I wanted to know. Paul Needs asks, the $100 I could handle. The balance is the issue. Why do you think I started learning to make guitars? I don't know. Paul, if you started to make guitars because you don't have money to buy the guitar that you wanted, let me ask you, did you spend more or less money? I will submit to you that making guitars and buying tools and learning this trade took a lot of time and a lot of money. And Paul, you know, as well as anybody, if you're doing this is not what you do because you can't afford a guitar. It might be what you think you do when you can't afford it. That's what I thought in 1988. But, you know, Roberto Venn in 1989 cost a lot of money, and it costs even more money now. And the guitars that I built then, they're in a closet somewhere. They don't see the light of day. But to be able to make things that you are proud of takes a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of money and a lot of gear. And yeah, so if you're building guitars because you don't have money, I would say it would be better if you built guitars because you like to build guitars. By the way, I build guitar. I have a shop. I don't even know how many square feet we have. I have all these machines. I have a rack of super cool guitars over here that are available for purchase right now. I don't have one. That's the other thing. You build enough guitars, you won't have any. So yeah, I shouldn't have sold all my stuff because I don't have any now. Dylan Talks Tone writes, I just put DAFs in the custom Formula Blue Challenger X today. Demo coming Monday.
Cool.
Very cool. He says Monday-ish. So yeah, guys, watch for the new Challenger X video coming on Dylan's channel. And the Challenger X presale goes through the end of October. So you can get in on the Challenger X presale and what you're basically doing is you're locking in that price. After the presale, that price is going to go up. Okay. So yeah, it's a cool way to go. Ken Tipton says, isn't the thinnest sonically superior? You need to sell it. Ken, yeah, I think I'm reading it. I am redoing it. Okay. Okay. So Chris, let's talk a little bit about customers we don't want. And what makes a customer of ours? I think we have the best customers in the industry. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You look at because I think of our customers as my friends. Mm-hmm. And in many cases, I have met a lot of our customers. Mm-hmm. And in some cases I have not, but all the guys who support us, all you guys who watch on YouTube, whether you bought a guitar from us or not, we want you guys as customers. Now, what happens is we get some people who think they're going to get something that they're not getting. And frankly, boutique instruments are probably not for them. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. So we recently had some difficulties with some people who bought one of our they liked our Challenger Junior so much that they ordered one. That was after the thing, and so we made one. And the guy bitched and whined and bellyached, and we ended up having to give him his money back. And it was basically, he decided he didn't like the guitar before he even got it.
That's the guy that I don't want.
Yeah. Yeah.
The guy that, is so insecure over his purchase that he starts second guessing it almost the minute that he places the order.
Yeah.
And then starts sweating everything about it. And once he gets it,
he was haranguing me for updates. And he even said, when are you going to ship it? Because I have to go on a trip and I don't want to not be here when it comes. And I'm like, well, we're not shipping it in the next couple of days. So why don't you go on your trip? Yeah. Yeah. And so then he didn't go on this trip, and he blamed us for not going
to see his mother.
Not going to see.
He didn't say, I'm planning on going to see my mother on these days. Is my guitar going to show up those days? We can fix that. No,
that's right. We are happy to not send it if you're going on a vacation.
No.
So like I say, and Chris, he sent us emails saying, I'm starting to get a funny feeling about this. I don't think I want the guitar anymore. And we're like, well, okay, what do you want to do? And then he started sending emails. Do not reply to this email. So it was just,
I knew you were going to screw me.
Yeah. Yeah. So we ended up giving him all of his money back. He sent the guitar back, and I'm like, what What a bizarre thing. Yeah. So, so if you are unsure of your purchase, maybe Guitar Center is where you, and I love Guitar Center. Guitar Center is a great place to go if you don't have Flipside Music, the great American guitar store in your neck of the woods. You can take stuff back and you can try shit out and you can, ballyhoo back and forth with the guys there. But the fact of the matter is I'm sorry, but let me, before I
finish up.
The guys at Guitar Center get paid to sit and listen to you talk about guitar stuff all day. Chris and I don't get paid to do that. We get paid to build guitars and to teach guitar building workshops. So if you want to if you're concerned that I don't communicate with you enough about your guitar, that is a fairly simple thing. Maybe what we make is not for you, and that's okay. Okay, go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
Just the bold-faced lying that went on.
Yeah.
As far as it showed up, with a chip in the headstock.
He sent the guitar back. There was no chip in the headstock. Yeah.
The frets are really sharp.
He sent the guitar back. The frets are fine. Ike from Flipside Music actually played it on Monday. He came in.
Hey, Ike, play this guitar. What do you think? Yeah, it's cool.
Looks cool to me. Yeah.
I played it for 10 or 15 minutes as he usually does. What else? Just knit. Oh, it makes a bunch of scratchy noises when you flip the switch.
Yeah, there was always something wrong.
It doesn't.
Shane says, tell him that if he thinks he's so smart, build it himself. That's absolutely true, Shane.
Yeah, and it's just that, they get the guitar. It's this hassle to even get them the guitar for whatever reason. They get it and they immediately start tearing it apart and bashing it.
Ken Tipton might be one of our most patient people on the planet. Yeah. And Ken, I do apologize because you have started this guitar a long time ago. And you know what? And Steve Rotbox is another one of those guys who's super, super patient. And I get bogged down. Chris gets bogged down. Stuff gets buried. And I haven't forgotten about you.
You don't mean to. It just sort of happens.
Yeah. And so thank you for all of your patience. I very much appreciate it. And you guys are what makes this possible. Chris and I, to be able to build guitars. It is a dream of mine. And everybody watching on YouTube, everyone who comes to a workshop, everyone who's going to come to a workshop, everybody who is planning on buying a guitar from us or has already bought a dozen of them like Doug has, you guys make this possible. And without you, there's no Texas Toast. But there was another person who signed up for a workshop that's happening Monday and then called me the other day and was like, oh, you know what? I don't think I can do it.
I didn't realize that I had to bring all the stuff.
Yeah. And you know what I said? You know what I said to them? I said, tell you what, I'll give you all the stuff to build a Telecaster. You don't have to buy anything. No, I don't think it's going to be very, very relaxing. I need to relax when
I thought this was going to be a fun vacation.
I'm like, well, I never. So all of the deposits on courses are non-refundable, especially if within a week before the class, I already put money out for like parts and things.
Well, and supplies,
woods and neck stuff, and all that stuff costs money. So if you come to a workshop, I guarantee you will have a really good time. Ask anybody ask Brian Duncan. Brian Duncan is one of our loudest supporters when it comes to workshops.
Yep.
But you know what? So are Dave Chenzoff and Doug Santana, the Dangerous Brothers. So is Jimmy. So is Doug Seidlitz. So is Ryan Elias. Yeah. Thank you. There are guys who have come out here 3-4 Doc Stiltonen. Sorry, Doc. They will tell you it may not be relaxing in the sense of sitting at the beach sipping Mai Tais.
No,
but it's fun and you will have such a good time. Now, you know who is coming? We have our second female student coming on Monday, and she and her dad, who's been here before. Her dad's not taking the class. He's just going to hang out and make sure he's going to help us out with stuff.
Who's that?
It's John, who came out with a Mac and when we had just built a guitar body.
Mhm.
Remember that? The very, very first couple of workshops that we had.
Mhm.
Anyway, his daughter's coming out, and she's doing it as a senior project.
Oh,
How
John,
cool is
who
that?
was here in the
Yeah.
class with Matt.
With Mac, yes. And his
remember
daughter's
John.
coming out she's going to build a Strat.
Cool.
And how cool is that? So she's coming out with her dad. He's going to like do photos and video and stuff because she's doing it for a class
He
project.
took didn't he take one of the no longer offered
One of the
setup classes?
No, that's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
The
Yep.
one
You're
day
right.
Setup class.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember John.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So yeah, so he and his daughter will both be here on Monday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Let's
Mhm.
take some questions from
Brad
the
Guitar Miller is going to be here tomorrow.
Brad Guitar Miller is going to be here tomorrow.
Getting a head start on some stuff.
There are a bunch of people. Gary Redburn, who's been here a number of
Yeah.
times, says workshops are great. Everyone should go to at least one. Thank you so much,
At
Gary.
least one.
Doc says getting things perfect takes time. Screwing it up usually real quick. And by the way, workshops are the best vacation for guitar people. Thank you so much, Doc. Let's see. Bobby Dill. Don't people understand that quality takes time? It's worth the wait. Also, the class was a blast. Bobby Dill has come out a number of times. And Bobby Dill is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
Everyone who comes out, you know what? We hang out with those dudes.
Mhm.
Some of those guys have come to my house. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not long ago. My house was not someplace where I could take people because I had a dog that would bite everybody. But I invite people to my home. I like the people in the workshops that much.
Yeah.
Van Shank Guitars. Anybody who says they won't be able to relax in the shop knows nothing about the therapeutic value of escaping to a woodworking shop. I could not agree more.
Yep. Yeah.
Brian says that he's planning a workshop visit next year. Really looking forward to it. Well, I'm looking forward to having you out here, Brian. SS, who is always witty. I've never met. You've actually talked to SS.
We've bounced back and forth on email. Yeah.
He says, I get super pissed when I order the guitar at the drive-thru and it's not ready when I get to the window.
Yeah,
well, that is
yeah.
a son of a gun. That's for sure.
Yeah. Jimmy Johns of guitars. Yeah. I can't explain the whole, and sometimes you can tell just from the emails going into it.
Yeah.
That they're getting squirrely.
Yeah.
And I really do think that it has less to do with the actual guitar and more to do with just them.
I don't know.
Yeah. But it's a real bummer.
Mike in Chicago from
and it
Evil
hurts my
Burrito
feelings.
and his buddy Ryan. Those dudes, like they bought a dozen guitars from us this year, the two of them.
Uh-huh.
And they've gotten, from like the highest polish to the least amount of finish you can possibly get. And those dudes are some of our biggest supporters too. I love those guys.
And I think there are people that understand what we do and like what we do.
I've been to Mike's house. I don't know if you know, but I have been to Mike's house in Chicago.
That's true.
It's funny because this is really a community of people. And if you're not into that, then that's okay.
Well, and there's we've talked about this a little bit, thinking that they're going to sneak in and get something that they're not. And I can't really explain it any more than that.
Well, elaborate a little bit.
Well, so in the world of, and I hate using the word boutique for what we do because it just sounds, I don't like that word. But small builders, in the world of small builders, I think that a $2,000 guitar is not an expensive guitar. And you look at some other small builders and they don't even offer anything with that kind of price. And you're not getting a $5,000 guitar when you buy a $2,000 guitar from us.
Hey,
I think you're getting a value. I think you're getting more than you paid for.
Let's take a quick. I couldn't agree more.
Chris. But I don't think you're going to backdoor your way into a 10 top PRS.
Let's talk to some of our buddies. Greg Pearl, who's been out here a couple times. I miss that dude.
Yeah,
you know what?
Haven't seen him more.
So many people have come out here so many times, and I love it when people come back. Greg Pearl says he's been twice. Super great time. Greg Pearl's a super great guy.
Yeah.
Brad Guitar Miller, who I've never met, but I will tomorrow, says he's busy packing today. Just need to know Saturday or Sunday for extra day. Very excited about everything. Looking forward to meeting everyone. Brad, well, I don't know. Brad, are you coming
We
I
thought
thought you were coming
showing up
tomorrow, and we're gonna get started on yours tomorrow. If not, we'll work on everything else. So, but I'm sure we'll talk. Ken wants to know: are you going to win or name? Would love to have a beer on my home turf. How cool would that be? You know, Ken came by that time. He showed up at the shop and we hung out. I would love to have we should just get out to the
we could
Huntington Beach area anyway.
We could do a quick in and out kind of a trip, maybe.
You know, we could go to what's the deal with NAMM? I don't even know.
We'd have to probably go on Flipside's badge.
If we
I
did,
can't imagine not being able to go on Flipside's badge.
I'm sure we could. And I want mine to say
buyers.
Flipside Music, the great American guitar store.
Yeah, and I'd walk around and pretend I was buying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sign me up for 2 of those, 5 of those.
Yeah, a couple of
the naked lady tees.
I'm having trouble following the thing here.
Yeah. Did you break it?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Got to go through the back door to get a PRS private.
Yeah.
Corey Forgrave, who's also a super awesome dude who's been out. Any plans for 2022 Cridman party this year? Well, funny you should ask.
It's man, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you believe that?
No,
that was 10 months ago.
No, I have had a bunch of life changes for me in the last.
Yeah, in the
last 12 months, and if some of you know some of those things,
the Cridman party is coming up once again. Really, yeah, that was 10 months ago.
You know, if we have a Cridman party, I hope Brad Hutchings comes out in his Santa suit again. That dude's awesome.
We didn't get to see it, Ryan.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah,
did you see it?
I'm like, who in the hell is this? And I saw it at Odyssey.
He was there. Yeah, I didn't get to see it. Yeah, Ryan Elias texted me. There's some guy here dressed up like Santa.
Yeah. It was the best surprise of Christmas for me.
Yeah.
Second only to my New Year's surprise. But yeah.
Your New Year's surprise?
I had a really good surprise on New Year's. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, but guys, if you are not interested in being part of the community that we have attempted to establish, then it's okay, but maybe our guitars are not for you. You know what I mean? They take a little bit of extra time, but I was looking at the Challengers today that we were building the Deluxes, and I looked at it and I'm like, God, I love this guitar. I love everything about it.
And I think there's been enough. This is part of the reason that I think we're doing this is that we're trying to talk ourselves into feeling good about what we've made.
Yeah.
Because it sucks when somebody tells you suck. One guy told me to do better. I try every day to do better.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to do worse.
I'm trying to suck.
Yeah. Believe me, I'm working really hard at it.
Yeah.
And
then I gave him his money back. And then he was kind of a snot.
He was still a jerk.
Whatever.
Yeah. Once you get your money back, shut up and go away.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, that's the rule. Yeah, I don't care about you anymore.
Yeah,
go away. Yeah. I was willing to help you out. I was willing to do something, but not anymore.
We're not in the business of screwing people over.
No, and that's the way he was approaching it. Is that we were intentionally sending him faulty merchandise to steal his money.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't think the merchandise was faulty. That's been proven.
Like I said, I played it. He loved it.
Yeah. It's bizarre, and it makes me feel bad because I want people to like what we make, and most people do like what we make. And when somebody says they don't like it, you got to start wondering, well, are all these other people that are liking it? And it's not all because they're our buddies.
I certainly trust them more than
but one guy who
doesn't
come in and stared at the rack of guitars that we have now that are sort of just there. And there's some really, really cool stuff. And I'm very particular. And I think I can tell cool stuff from not cool stuff.
I think so, too.
And I think we make really cool stuff.
Scotsman says, one guy might say it, but what about the rest? You always get that one.
You always focus on the bad one.
You're absolutely right. And that's something that I try to not do.
Sometimes it's hard.
But yeah.
So we're not trying to get a bunch of people to say you guys are great.
Yeah. we just thought this would be a fun topic to have. So before we start wrapping it up, can we have one more visual aid?
Sure.
I want to show off.
This slide.
No, I want to show off some of the Challenger X bodies that are done in paint.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I can grab a couple of
So,
those.
guys, as you know, one of the reasons that we do these Thursday live things is to answer your questions. Let's take one from Ken right now, who asks, "Your guitars are literally a community and a vibe, like how Harley has ascended the motorcycle world. It isn't about the bike; it's about the ownership." Thank you so much, Ken, and you're absolutely right. Van Shank Guitars joined up at the Casanova level. That's very, very cool. Thank you, sir. One of the things that we do in these Thursday things is we try to build this community and talk with you guys. We also try to tell you guys what's going on and share some of the updates of what's happening. So here's kind of a little bit of a reveal, a pre-reveal. Preveal.
This one looks blue.
It looks black almost.
Yeah,
so
it is not. It is very, very purple.
So if you are one of the several people who have ordered a Challenger X, all of the bodies are done with paint, and they are going to be ready for some neck work. We've got to put frets in, stuff like that, and then pickups and bridges and things like that. But so we have 4 or 5 Pelham blue ones. We have a couple black ones. We have some other colors. There's a purple one that's totally rad.
Get that out of the picture. Let's see if we can get this purple to pop.
Okay. Nope. It's kind of looks blue, but it's actually blue. A candy very purple, which is super, super cool.
It's like grimace purple.
So if you guys are down with this is the Pelham blue is actually very neat.
That one shows pretty true to color.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah. The purple one for some reason doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Lefty, this one could be yours. I don't know.
I think there's 2 or 3.
There's 2 or 3 of this one with a trim and in Pelham blue. Or no,
they're all
this one in purple, and there's another one of these in Pelham blue.
Mm-hmm. With the trim.
Yeah. So guys, if you want to get in on the Challenger X, you've got until the end of October. Don't worry, I'll push it more as we go. They're all getting Dylan pickups. You get to source or spec, which we source the pickups. You get to spec whichever ones you want. And so for example, Lefty O's, he's getting some, so he's like, "Hey Matt, I want whatever it was," and I wrote it down on his invoice. And when it's time to order pickups, we'll get pickups going. So yeah. Bobby Dill's not getting one. Bobby Dill's getting a Challenger Deluxe though. And so yeah, these are going to be really, really awesome. So they are a bolt-on 25.5-inch scale. They come in pretty much any color you can imagine, whatever bridge combination you want, but it's our Challenger model in a bolt-on form. So it's not something that I set out to do, but Chris said, "You know what, Matt, a lot of people like bolt-ons. Why don't we do some bolt-ons?" And I said, "All right, let's do it." And I wasn't sure. And then when Dylan came, you guys both convinced me, and I'm really glad you did because they look really good.
Yeah, I think they're cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. And these are durable thin finish. So there's going to be a big reveal on Challenger X's. Now Challenger X's will not be revealed in the next week or so because we have a workshop next week.
Yeah.
So after tomorrow, all work will cease on Challenger X's for a little bit so that we can teach guitar building to 8 super cool people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
8 people that we want in the shop.
Tom asks, "Do you guys make a carved top kind of like Les Paulish?" Well, actually, Tom, yes, we do have a carved top Challenger. Here, you want to take these back, and I'll vamp a little bit.
I don't know what to do with them. I'll just stand here.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get a carved top Challenger.
These are guitars that we made.
Okay, so we have this is one of our Challenger models, and this is a carved top, as you can see here. So yeah, we do now. It's not a Les Paul. If you want a Les Paul, however, Gibson will be happy to make you as many as you want. And but this is our model. It is a semi-hollow chambered body with like I said, this has, you can't really see it because the sealer has been sanded back, but this has the flame maple top, and it is in fact carved. This one is bound, but some of them will in the future be have our reveal binding and maple binding on the neck. I've actually got one that I'm doing, and I might just keep it if unless someone buys it right out from under me. It's an all rosewood neck one. I love. Oh, you got another one there? Let's just show that one off too.
So this one's carved. And it's ready for assembly.
Ready for assembly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we do make a single cutaway carved top guitar. Is it less polish? Well, in that it has 6 strings and is carved top, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it is not a Les Paul.
That's the most recent version, right?
Yeah.
What would you call this? A precursor?
That was. I mean, this one and that one should be dimensionally
pretty
similar. Yeah. They're all hand carved, and so yeah, they're a little bit different, but that's the carve that I like. So, Corey asks, with the carved top, did you have to change the neck angle? No, we did not, and yes, we did. So the carved top has the exact same neck angle as it pertains to the top. That is to say, the neck is parallel to the top. It is not, however, parallel to the back. So we had to change it a little bit. It's 2 degrees or 2.5 degrees or something. 2.2 degrees, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Because the guitar's thinner at the front than it is.
Yeah.
Dead in the middle.
So, but if you take the top and draw a line and put a straight edge on top of the fretboard, they are parallel. On a Les Paul, the neck actually has a neck plane and a pickup plane, and then the bridge is flat to that. So our guitar is not 100% like a Les Paul, but it is more like a PRS, and which PRS is also more like a harmonica, which is what one of my big influences, and a bunch of other guitars that have that kind of thing. The neck is not in a mortise and tenon; it is our neck joint, and we did have to put it in not at an angle to the top, but at an angle to the back, if that makes any sense. So yeah, okay. Tom says that he's really digging it. Thanks, man. I'm glad you like it. I hope that we have a bunch of those ready for you guys. I got a buttload of really cool flame maple that I'm going to do carved tops with. And Bobby Dale actually hooked me up.
Who'd you get that with?
From Dan and Calvin at Tonewood Experts, the great American Tonewood Experts.
Yep. We talk about them so much that my phone listened, and now I get ads on
Do you
Facebook.
really?
Yep. Before
I tell you guys who we often thank every single time we do a live stream, I do want to thank my friend Bobby Dale, who gave me some white Limba blanks, and I'm actually going to be doing some carved tops with those. They're going to be solid bodies, carved top. Bobby, I'm not saying that so you buy that wood back from me, but you might want to. But I do want to thank all of our sponsors. Flipside Music, the great American guitar store in Denver, Colorado, moving into the destination shop
sooner than later.
For the
first time I can actually say that.
Yep. I would also like to thank Dylan McCurchie and his lovely wife Leslie from Dylan Pickups. Guys, if you want the real McCoy pickups wound by the guy whose name is on the pickups, Dylan Pickups is the only one that I know of that you can still get that from.
Mm-hmm.
Dan and Calvin at Tonewood Experts. Every single person who asks me where to get wood, I always say Tonewood Experts, because that's where I get wood from too. Doesn't matter what it is.
Ever let you down?
No,
never.
No,
never once.
You know who else has never let me down? John and Cheryl at Bitterroot Guitars. Now, I want to say this. When you do this, as long as you and I have done this, there are a lot of people with their hand out. Like, hey, what can I do to sell you something? What can I do to make money off of you? John and Cheryl are not those people. They are the salt of the earth, cool people who are really in it because they absolutely love what they're doing. Actually, all the people who help us out feel that are that way. John and Cheryl are definitely in that group.
I think everybody that we do business with I would consider a friend,
Absolutely.
because that's the only way to do business.
Absolutely. John's bought guitars from us.
Yeah.
Not because he has, he
Not-
can buy
and
guitars
not
from
because-
whoever he wants.
and not because we're friends, but I don't, I don't
Bobby says, do you even have to ask?
I don't go out and look to beat up my friends' prices to me with other people's prices.
Yeah.
On stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for a better deal because we're friends, but we're friends because of the relationship that we've established.
We have a lot of
business.
people that we, Mike Learn is that kind of guy. Well,
Yeah.
like people, Bobby Dale, obviously,
Mhm.
Brian Nutter,
Mhm.
some guys who Phil McKnight, like I've said so many times, Phil McKnight has been an ally to us when he did not have to be.
Right.
And that is
Yeah.
very, very
Uh-huh.
cool.
And someday he might get a guitar.
Oh,
We're gonna
absolutely.
finish
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting close.
Who else have we missed? We missed my buddy Nigel Forstner in Queensland, Australia. If you guys want to kind of get some insight of what it's like to make a living, you're not going to be a millionaire. Earn a living doing woodworking. His audiobook is linked in the description below, and you can buy that. You can buy that. Actually, everybody who we'd like to thank is in our description below, including Odyssey Beer Works in lovely Arvada. I might go to Odyssey Beer Works in the next 3 or 4 months. No, I'll probably go sooner than that.
For a while, you were going at least once a week.
Well, they have a bunch
'Cause
of
they have
events,
a bunch of
and,
events,
yeah.
and you were going to every single event, and
And they are the people that hosted our Cribman party. Maybe we should see if we can do that again at Odyssey.
we
What
should
would you- what would
we
you think
should
of
see
that?
if we can do that again. Maybe make it a little less hectic.
Let's make it even more hectic.
No, let's. Well, part of it was getting your band to play.
Oh,
Getting
that
you
was
and
a-
your
that was a
band.
big
That's
deal.
always a challenge. Let's just get some other band to play.
So there you go. So
Yeah.
guys, we're going to log off. We will see you tomorrow for a reveal. I urge you to go check out Dylan McCurchie at Dylan Talks Tone
Mhm.
and hang out with him for the final hour of Primetime Guitar. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.